Hey, good morning, everybody. It took us a little bit, but we finally figured it out. I am thrilled that you're here today. I'm Rita Hickman, a body mind shiatsu massage therapist, and I help women heal from and toxic relationships. I help body back, their mind back, their energy back. I help them start learning how to set boundaries. And one of the things that I do is I help women heal from trauma, heal from narcissist trauma. So let's give you a little bit of a background. So trauma, anything that happens unexpectedly that you have no control over and you didn't have the ability or to process through it. So it stayed stuck on a physical, unconscious level, and until you actually revisit and experience it, and it's going to keep causing problems because emotions are they're very physical, and that's one of the I think that's one of the ways that we've been let down so many times in the health industry is that they look at as which besides chemicals or not enough serotonin. I mean, that's part of it for sure. But a big piece of healing and mental health is the physical stress that trauma, of stuck trauma, does to your body. So typically, it will come out in ways like IBS, chronic headaches, immune system problems. So any sort of immune system illness, exacerbate it. Whatever you're kind of already predispositioned for, either genetically or because of your family or how you were raised, will typically be the the physical problems that surface. So if we don't deal with past trauma on a physical level, then it's stored in the body. The emotion chemicals stay stored, the energetic pattern in your nervous system stays stored. It's kind of like a rough spot. So if you don't start working on the physical piece of your mental and emotional health, you're only going to get so far until you feel like you're stuck or hijacked or can't move forward. And that's usually when I enter people's lives, is when they've done the counting, they've done the maybe energy work, and they're still having problems. They've only gone as far forward as they can. So how do we revisit emotional trauma? Trauma caused by our original narcissist, which could be family, or if you developed, a narcissistic relationship when you got older, or if there was some sort of abuse outside the home by a narcissist. There's all sorts of ways that our body gets learned or compartmentalize it so that we can kind of keep surviving and move forward. So one of the hardest things is tapping into these emotions when you want to tap into it. Because we can sit there and wait until something big happens in life and triggers it and rips it all open, and then we have to spend, the next 6 months or a year or 2 years or 10 years dealing with that overwhelm, and that's one way that people have always done it, is they sort of wait for life to hit them in the face. Another way that you can take is when you get triggered, when an emotion comes up, frustration, hurt, irritation, whatnot, whatever it may be, then you use that as a way to process through things. But there is another way. There is a way that you get to start working through this emotional trauma, this physical trauma from your narcissist, in a way that's on your time, on your schedule, with where you get to choose how you want to do it, when you want to do it, where you want to do it, how you want to do it. Because remember, the hardest things is tapping into the parts of yourself that have been traumatized. Many times people think of trauma in a very linear sort of way. Trauma is something that happened to us, and once we visit it and cry about it or get mad about it, then it should be over. That's not really true. So we've got all of these layers. Think of your body and your mind and your subconscious and your cells and your atoms and everything as having individual purposes in life. And they do. Everything in your body, everything in the world, in the universe, to the smallest energetic wave has some level of, maybe not conscious mind consciousness, but some purpose, some usefulness, some agenda of their own, something that they're in charge of, that they're responsible for, that's important to that part and piece of us. And the way we're able to function as a whole human being is because all of those parts and pieces, all those different levels and layers, they come together and they make an agreement and say, you know what, we're gonna work together. We're gonna move in some direction. Now we end up stuck when we've got too much conflict inside of us, when there's too many voices on one side, saying no, and and angry and hurt and sad and depressed and upset and all of that. And then another part of us that says, hey, we got to get up. We have to get things done. We have a purpose. We can't sit here. So inner conflict happens when all those different layers and parts and pieces are going in opposite directions. They're not aligned. They're not working toward the goal. There are different motivations and there are different end games for everything. And the more inner conflict that we have, the angrier and more upset and more mental and emotional problems that we'll have. So we need to start clearing out that conflict. And one of the ways is clearing out the body. So if we assume that you don't just have one emotion about an event, if we assume that every part of your body has its own opinion, has its own need to be heard and healed and held close and integrated and brought back into the rest of it, into the whole again, into the community that you are. When we look at it that way, then we see that there's all sorts of things going on. There's all sorts of emotions and levels and layers. And only when we start having respect and love for all those different parts and pieces of ourselves, can we start to get unstuck and move forward. So one of the ways that I do this, and I had a mentor, 350-pound Ojibwe in Upper Michigan. And he was tapped into the spirit world and well-loved internationally, even though he had a temper and an attitude and a personality and even though he was like all of us, his own individual person with all of his own stuff that's going on too. But one of the things he would say to me was, he would say, if you don't know what to do, do the thing you haven't done before. So what does this have to do with tapping into the physical self? So we need to go into different states of mind. We need to have different experiences, different setups in order to tap into these physical responses to things. We need to give ourselves a wide variety of experiences in order to talk or access the different parts of ourself which may still be wounded and stuck and traumatized. So how do we do this? There's so many ways to do this. You can try out different complementary therapies, healing therapies, hands-on therapies. You can try out different herbs. I've been working with this great herb, and it's herbal supplement the last couple days, and it's called the Grind. And it gives you the support for serotonin, dopamine, all of those things. It gives you that support. And what it also does is, because it gives you a different physical, it taps into a part of you. And so like this morning, I took my little grind herbal supplement and it gave me access to another part of me, to a part of me that been stuck, that little girl. So actually what happened is today I sat, very specific memories of a bathroom, and today I beat the bathroom to hell, including the mirror. I didn't see myself anymore. And then today I sat on the floor of the bathroom with their arm around me, and we shared the experience between something you imagine and something that actually happens. So the nation, we end up staying stuck. We end up staying stuck in the memory, in the body. It's still real for our nervous system, and it's happening over and over. And so we have to consciously go in and change this grind pill into a little bit of an altered state of reality. Me a different experience that I'm used to, and it allowed me to tap into that part of me, physically release those memories and the trauma, and get it off my system, get it off my body. It was very, very, very cool. So there's all sorts of there, whether you've got recreational marijuana, whether you've got whether you've got different herbal supplements, whether it's caffeine, whether it's hands-on body, whether it's going to a different country and jumping off of a rock naked into the water, whatever it may be. When you challenge yourself to do something out of the ordinary, it puts you into an altered state of reality you aren't used to experiencing. And what happens is it allows that door to open. You're saying, I'm going to have this experience. Today I'm going to do X, Y, Z, whatever it may be. So this morning for me, it was today I'm going to take my grind pill right in the very, first thing this morning. And to go into that altered healing space. Because remember, I've got a habit every day where I spend at least 30 minutes, if not longer, doing my healing work and cleaning up come up. And so today I took my little grind pill and it put me into that different state, different physical experience, and allowed me to tap into parts of me that hadn't been tapped into before. And that's how this works. Every action we have with someone, every relationship, every physical experience, every allows us to look at our life through a different lens, through a different of ourselves, of what we're working on. And when we work on enough of those layers where trauma is being held, your nervous system, your chemical system, your brain, your heart, your gut, all of those things, when we start working on that, then you're able to physically release it. And when you physically release it, it means that you have less stress on your body, less of a burden on your body. You aren't fighting yourself. You've got less conflict. You're able to stay out of fight or flight decisions, and you're able to move forward and not be hijacked by your physical, mental. So this process of cleaning things up and getting new ideas and regular habits into place, all of these work together. They each are a different part or piece of you, and when you get enough of them pulled together, enough things on board, then they synergize and work together to take you to another level of beingness. So it's not stair step. We always think of things as a stair step, but in reality it's more like a root system of a plant. We get all of the things that we need, that foundational piece, we get lots of those things in place, and then they start working together. They start working together to create something bigger and more amazing and more new version of yourself, as they say, a higher version of yourself, or you're able to evolve. Okay, so it's important to do, these different steps that work on getting what you need through all sorts of, on all your different levels, all the different exist. So here's your homework assignment. I want you to do something which gives you a different physical experience. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be hang gliding if you want. It could be doing something done before will put you into a different state, which will allow you to access the that part of you that might still be traumatized or wounds, And then once that's brought up, you holding a good vision, a good, loving, safe, wonderful vision that helps you move forward. So for me, as I said, it was holding a vision of being in the bathroom with someone who cared about me. Not some stranger, but a friend with me in my memory. And yesterday it was shattering the mirror. It's not sure anymore, okay? They are ready to not be stuck anymore in the patterns that you're living. You actually have to dedicate yourself to it. You have to say, I'm not for forever on healing work. But for a certain amount of time, 6 months or a year and a half, you dedicate to getting you cleaned up. And the faster you do, the faster you work through these things, the faster your life gets. And then you have the right care to move through these things so much sooner, but every experience you have gets you closer, and that's the point. So today, do something new, exotic, unusual. It could be fun. It could not be fun, although I like to see things all as fun and healing and experience. It could be challenging. It could be uncomfortable, like a sweet spot. All right, healing happens at the intersection of a little bit of discomfort, but still feeling safe. It's there. If you go too far on one direction, too comfortable, there's no reason to challenge. You're in fight or flight and over. So you want to create a sweet spot, healing space that challenges you just a little bit while still feeling safe and uncomfortable. So I want you to find an experience today that makes you feel a little uncomfortable, but not over uncomfortable, and that's where the healing magic will happen. Try something you haven't done before, even if it's just for a few minutes, whatever it may be, as simple as maybe sitting outside and putting your feet on the ground. Give you something. This group, okay? Let me know in the group, and let me know, because somebody has to hear what you have to say about what you did, and let us support you. Let us love you. Let us give you validation. Support system is one crucial piece to what will get you unstuck. So start becoming part of communities that love you and care about you, and the healthy mindset to cope with narcissists is one way to do it. Now, if you want something that's a little bit higher level, a little bit more hands-on, we have some options. One option is a group coaching program that I do, and the link's in the title above. You can check that out, group coaching program. Or the other thing is you can work with me. What we'll do is that lays out the areas that you want to work on them. Don't worry about your time. That works with your finances. That works with getting the support that you need. Okay? We'll get you today. I'm released this morning. And bye.